Disturbing allegations tonight against a man arrested on suspicion of raping an elderly woman at a Hillcrest nursing home. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Barbara Edwards.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Police say they arrested 48-year-old LaShawn Arline, who allegedly snuck into the facility and assaulted the 88-year-old victim in her bed.
News 8's Abby Alford is live outside the Balboa Nursing Home and Rehabilitation Center with more on the investigation and what we've learned about Arline. Abby?
Barbara and Carlo, police say that the suspect who sexually assaulted the woman inside this nursing home did not know her. He did not work here, and he did not know any of the other patients. The administration, or the administrator for this center, says that they are grateful for police and that this predator has been caught, but he would not elaborate how this could have even happened.
DNA evidence put a man behind bars who allegedly sexually assaulted an elderly woman while in bed at this Hillcrest nursing home. Sex crime detectives say just before 5 Sunday morning, October 27th, police responded to a nursing home, later identified as Balboa Nursing and Rehabilitation Center on 4th Avenue. They say 48-year-old LaShawn Arline illegally entered the facility and sexually assaulted an 88-year-old woman in bed. There were other patients in the room, and they all screamed, alerting staff who responded, but Arline ran away. Sex crime detectives say that they collected evidence and entered DNA into the national database CODIS, which identified Arline. This violated his parole. 8 days on the run, police say Department of Corrections took him into custody in Chula Vista this past Monday. San Diego County records show he has a long rap sheet. Police were not available for comment. It's unclear how the suspect entered the facility and further security measures, but the administrator at Balboa Nursing and Rehabilitation Center released this statement saying, in part, "We will continue to stay in close contact with the resident and the resident's family and to provide support and help in any way. We are committed to doing whatever necessary to help ensure the safety of residents, families, staff, and visitors to our community at all times." Also saying that out of respect for the resident, additional comment would be inappropriate.
The suspect, LaShawn Arline, is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow. He is being held on $1 million bail. He faces several charges, including rape, burglary, and elderly abuse. Barbara and Carlo.
All right, Abby, thank you.